Justin Hawkins writes again. Good day to you, it is I, Justin Hawkins. This is Justin Hawkins Writes Again, my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, sign up for the alerts. Today we're talking about American Idol, or rather Pop Idol, or the whole phenomenon the phenomenon of the casting shows, you know, music. I think it started with pop stars, right? Was it 2000 or something? I must confess something to you now. I am, in part, directly responsible for the success of the format of the American Idol show. I'll explain why. In my former life, I used to write jingles and music for adverts and television. I was charged with the task of providing music and songs for the entire radio campaign leading up to the first series of Pop Stars, which is when all this mess began. The interesting thing about it was that I was asked to write songs, and then we would find actors and voice actors from the Sylvia Young sort of drama school, I suppose, and we would deliberately choose people whose sort of vocal singing range was naturally not quite right for the song. So we would find people and get them to sing out of their comfort zone, and then the car crash that ensued was the radio campaign. So even before the first series, it was very obvious that they were looking for car crash TV. They wanted to exploit the people who went for an audition and it didn't go quite right for them, or people who have an unrealistic idea about their own abilities as singers. So even in those first instances, the opening series of this, which was produced by Nigel Lithgow, I think the catchphrase for the first lot of stuff was the first series was "Nigel, pick me." So one of the songs I did was like, "Oh Nigel, you know that I'm your man, and this is why I was born. I've been waiting for this moment, so please don't let me down." And the idea was shit songs sung by people who couldn't quite sing them, so that we can all laugh at their inability and, you know, exploit their, you know, misperception of their own abilities. It's pretty disgusting. I'm not proud of it, but it is the truth. I was involved in it. Later, of course, I did write a song which was the coronation single for Caleb Johnson when he won American Idol in 2014, I think it was. But I got into trouble because I had forgotten that I'd already sold that song to the winner of South African Idol a few years previous. I can't be expected to keep track of it. It's all one company. It's their job, isn't it? Isn't the Idol people, aren't they supposed to know if someone's singing a song that a previous Idol contestant, they should know that, surely. Why am I obliged to know these things? But yeah, anyway, I got into trouble. So nothing I say today is going to damage my relationship with Nigel Lithgow and the people of American Idol. I think they've had enough of me already. But anyway, I'm going to watch some other musicians remarking on the truth about American Idol, and I'll weigh in wherever necessary. Cheers.
Who's to say who's good or not? Imagine Bob Dylan standing there and singing "Blowing in the Wind" in front of those judges. Sorry, it's a little nasally and a little flat. Next.
Yeah, I think Dave Grohl's got a really good point there. It is just a question of taste. I mean, at the end of the day, how many judges are there? Is it a panel of 3? So these 3 people, you have to do something that they all unanimously agree is, well, it has to be to all of their liking. Otherwise, you can't proceed through the competition. It's not very realistic but I think there are instances when somebody's literally tone deaf. I don't think Bob Dylan probably would pass muster, because the type of singer that they're looking for on those things is a pop singer. But he's in tune, and there are people on there who really aren't in tune. That's the best television, really. But also it's the cruelest irony is that most watchable contestants at the stage of audition is also the most terrible singers.
I understand you want to be stars, but I'm a believer you got to get some scars and you got to get some feel, and there's a certain path you got to take in life with anything you do. Before you own the garage, you got to learn how to sweep the floors. I believe that. I was taught that, and I think the worst thing in life is the biggest curse would be to be famous without any money, and I think that's what that show does to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. It probably is true. And yet, I think, people like Nigel Lithgow have done really, really well from it. It's actually, Nigel Lithgow is obviously a genius, a television and marketing genius. He knew that you wouldn't be able to take your eyes off these kids. But I think there's something a little bit cynical about them sort of selling out. You hear about them selling out stadium tours, with the other contestants, and their first single invariably goes to number one. They always do well. It's great for the songwriters. It's great for people like Simon Cowell and Nigel Lithgow, who produce those shows, and obviously lock them into what they call 360 deals, where I think they probably take a piece of everything, or probably the lion's share of just about everything, like from merchandise right through to the records themselves. I suppose the only thing they can't have is the songwriting credits, although it wouldn't surprise me if you look through the song credits of American Idol and casting. If Simon Cowell's on the panel, I would be really surprised if there aren't like a few occasions when he's listed as a songwriter on some of the stuff that subsequently is released. But Nigel Lithgow he's got it the other way around. He's rich, but he was on the panel for some of these series, but I think nowadays he's behind the scenes, very much not in the public eye, but as rich as can be. Whereas the guys who are in the public eye, as Kid Rock suggests there, they might not have any money, I suppose. I remember there was one guy. I mean, I feel sorry for the people that get to like the semi-finals or or maybe they get to a few weeks through the main sort of competition after the audition stage. And some of those people can sing, they're all right, but they really get put through the ringer. I read something about one of the contestants in an English newspaper. It did make me laugh, but I felt really sorry for the guy, because they said, well, now it seems like they've stopped even having human beings as contestants, and now it's just a balloon with a face drawn on it. The cruelty of that is just resounding. I mean, and this person has never had any media training. They didn't succeed in the competition. That was their only shot of fame, and the only bit of sort of national press they got described them as a balloon with a face drawn on it. I mean, I suppose I agree with Kid Rock, really. You're better off getting in a van, writing your own songs and doing the rounds, establishing a following, perfecting your craft before you're exposed to that kind of, mass, to the masses, really, because if you're not prepared for it, that can be really damaging. I do wonder what's happened to those people since.
Number one for Christmas, how would that be, and what would you like to say to the potential buyers listening?
This has been a real, completely grassroots campaign started by real fans of music, and I think it's tapped into the silent majority of the people in the UK are tired of being spoon-fed one schmaltzy ballad after another, and they want to take back their own charts. And we are honored that they've chosen our song to be the rebel anthem to try to topple the X Factor monopoly.
I love Tom Morello. I love Zach de la Rocha. Is that how you say it? I don't know. That was a great moment, actually, wasn't it? When, for the first Christmas in what seemed like eternity, Rage Against the Machine was number one in the UK instead of, whatever the prevailing X Factor contestant or Pop Idol contestant was. It was brilliant. But unfortunately, it was just a rare reprieve from it. There was a little bit of remission. the damage has been done. You know, now it's all about fame, isn't it? At whatever cost.
Well, I mean, the very last thing these people are idols, and it's ludicrous. I mean, it's just a game. It's just like a modern talent show, and I feel sympathy for the people, for the contestants, and the whole action of ridiculing a contestant and bringing them down and kicking them out and watching them cry and kill themselves seems to be a part of modern entertainment, but I don't know anybody on the planet who enjoys it.
Yeah, I think this is spot on there. I mean, the entertainment is derived from the humiliation of the bewildered, really, and it's us sneering at them. It's pretty disgusting. But sometimes a good song comes out of it, or, you know, you find a home for a good song. And some people do really well at it. Some people have lasting careers. Look at Harry Styles. I mean, were it not for whichever competition it was that they went in for when they were, what were they called again? Fuck, One Direction. I mean, we wouldn't have Harry Styles if we hadn't had this casting show. Or would we? I mean, you do feel like people like that might have risen to the top anyway through hard work and, you know, charm, wit, good looks and all that. It does throw up a couple of stars along the way. And if there are stars there, I mean, people like Simon Cowell are going to spot them because they can sniff the money. They know exactly how to exploit these young people in order to feather their own nests. And it's that whole thing, you know, you only have a fallout with those people when you stop selling records. The rest of the time, everyone's happy.
And then you get there and you think, I don't really want Sharon Osbourne calling me a fake, Louis Walsh saying I look like a serial killer. That is the sort of thing I'm thinking, this isn't what I turned to become a singer for.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that there's all the drama that in that show comes from, you know, the characters on the panel who are telling the bewildered contestants where they're going wrong, or why they'll never make it, or why they will make it. It's all meaningless, you know. The whole thing is just meaningless. It'd be nice to think that they'd encourage the contestants to basically ignore everything that's being said to them, and I hope they get some sort of counselling as well. I was upset once by Louis Walsh and Sharon Osbourne once because they used one of our songs. Somebody sang it, did a horrible job of it. There's only one guy that can sing that song properly, and they said, "Oh, you really made that song your own." So fuck off, it's mine. and then they said, "Oh, it's a really gimmicky song." Fuck, I've never heard a song get slagged off. It must have the distinction of being the only song that they pay me to use, so that they can, you know, create content for the baying throng, and then slag off the song. I mean, fuck's sake, nobody escapes. Nobody escapes. But remember, were it not for my successful radio campaign at the beginning of Pop Idol, none of this would have happened.
Look, I've won a talent show. Let's just be realistic about this. I shouldn't be doing the red carpet. I should just turn up. Great, thanks very much. I'll sit down here, watch it, got a good seat. But let's not build it up to anything it is. You know, it's just a talent show.
Yeah, it is a talent show, but unfortunately it's watched by so many people that it seems like it matters. Also, just to conclude my American Idol confessions, I wrote a song called Music Again for Adam Lambert. It was the first song on his first record, and of course Adam Lambert was famously a runner-up in American Idol, which shows you that the format does throw up the occasional megastar. He's one of those guys, and a great example of it. What a voice! What a voice!
I want your body, mind, soul, etc. And one day you'll see you should give it to me.
Probably destroying people's lives, or certainly their egos. Maybe that's a good thing in some instances. If you can't sing, you should be told. But if you can sing and you're just not to the liking of these people, it can destroy you. That's not fair, is it? Justin Hawkins writes again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, sign up for the alerts, watch one of these two videos and pick me! Pick me!